survivors of domestic violence describe the difficulties in leaving an abusive relationship. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, survivors of domestic violence speak out about the difficulties of leaving an abusive relationship and dealing with the legal system once they do. Plus, Connect to Culture points to the findings of a recent report to show just how much money the arts generates for the city of Joplin. And for some folks here in the 4 states, the new movie Killer of the Flower Moon hits close to home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A domestic violence survivor is struggling to gain freedom from her abuser through the court system. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Tanya Bach. As she is still in the midst of her court cases, she has requested to remain anonymous. Miranda Burton has her story.
It took Alice 12 years to gather the courage to leave her abusive marriage, but her fight for freedom continues.
No matter how dangerous the situation is for the person getting away from the abuse, they still expect you to send your kids, fully interact with that person, even with a restraining order.
Domestic abuse survivors often lack evidence, but that isn't the case for Alice. Even so, she has been involved in multiple court cases for over 2 years with no end in sight.
Text messages from the children while they are in the midst of the situation asking for help. It is pictures whenever there was a sprained wrist that we had to go to the hospital for. Even when children speak up and talk about what's happening to them, they say that the victim is usually coaching the children.
Safe House Crisis Center Director Brooke Powell says many survivors don't end up seeing cases through because of how long it can take.
Having to take time off of work to testify, having to be at those court hearings, that takes a toll on them in more ways than one, emotionally, physically, financially. And so a lot of times they may, again, get frustrated and just say, I just want to move on.
Powell says while time and healing can offer closure to some, other survivors struggle with the constant threat of their abusers just around the corner. In those cases, the folks at the center find ways to help.
If the survivors reached out, is really helping them get through that. Like, let's safety plan around this. Yes, law enforcement couldn't do anything, but let's think about what we can do and get a plan together.
Plans can be anything from relocation to providing Ring doorbells for more security. Miranda Burton, KOAM News.
Safe House Crisis Center reports serving 600 survivors in the last fiscal year. 225 of them were cases extreme enough to warrant staying in their emergency shelter. Well, meteorologist Sam Lang is in for Doug Hetty tonight, joining us with the first look at the forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Tanya. Yeah, we have some thunderstorms developing on radar down in north central Oklahoma. You can see those there in eastern Kate County and northwestern Osage County, just to the south and west of Sedan and Cedarvale. This is all developing and will be moving to the north and east as we go into the overnight hours. And so we're expecting more scattered showers and storms to develop across our area. Into the overnight, you can see around 2 a.m. scattered showers, 65 degrees. Same thing at 4 o'clock, 64 degrees to a low of about 61. And looking down the lane, we're going to have those scattered thunderstorms tonight, then a much cooler Friday and a chilly weekend in store with some below normal temperatures all next week. And I'll spell all that out for you coming up in the forecast in just a little bit.
Thanks, Sam. Connect to Culture in Joplin releases the findings of its Americans for the Arts study. The study looked at how the city's arts and culture industry impact the local economy. It found the industry generated $5.9 million in economic activity last year. Officials say the study shows how important the industry is to the community.
Well, arts have a huge impact, and it's not just economic. That's the focus of this study, but we know that the arts have a huge impact on education in our communities, on attracting visitors and businesses, jobs, creating a quality of life in the community that everybody benefits from. So whether you're interested in the arts or not, you still benefit from the strong and vital arts in your community.
The study was conducted by compiling more than 800 audience intercept surveys from a variety of local events. Precious Moments in Carthage is welcoming back family from around the world with classes and more at its family reunion. One of the classes allows visitors to make their own Precious Moments figurine with the help of Deb Butcher, daughter of the original artist, Sam Butcher. Collectors look forward to the reunion. It's a chance to catch up with others who understand their passion.
I have a wonderful husband and two sons, both growing and on their own now, but they laugh at me sometimes when I want to do this Precious Moment stuff, but yet they say, go for it. You know, you enjoy it, Mom. We understand.
Precious Moments family reunion continues through October 14th. Martin Scorsese's newest film, Killers of the Flower Moon, debuts next week. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with a local self-proclaimed expert about the events described in the movie.
When I was a young boy, they told me these stories about how the white people had basically forced these Native Americans, the Osage, onto this what they believed to be worthless land in Osage County, Oklahoma, and it turns out it was one of the richest discoveries of oil on the North American continent.
Gene Griffith is an American history enthusiast. More specifically, he's a self-proclaimed expert about the events that take place in the upcoming film, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I actually witnessed the filming of Killers of the Flower Moon. George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic, they were down there recording, the sound, and of course the visuals too.
The film, starring Oscar Award winners Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, shows the manipulation of the Osage Nation by white encroachers seeking to make their fortune off of oil-rich land.
The Osage Nation, which consisted of about 2,200 people, they became some of the wealthiest people on the planet, simply because of the great wealth underneath that land.
According to Gene, this story is one that deserves the attention of the big screen.
The story of Native Americans in the United States is truly a sad one, a dark chapter in our history. And it's good that it's being told, and Martin Scorsese is just the man to do it, all right?
So, if there was any doubt about this movie, you can bet, after a talk with Gene, you'll want to go see it. Reporting in Carthage, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Killers of the Flower Moon is set to be in theaters October 20th. Well, coming up, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announces a $3 million grant to bolster judicial branch records. Plus, PSU and MSSU go head-to-head this weekend on the gridiron in the Miners Bowl. John has the Gorillas pregame preparation coming up in sports.
We could all use more of, it's time. And at Ford, we get it.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announces nearly $3 million to enhance Kansas judicial branch records. The grant comes from the Federal Bureau of Justice Statistics National Criminal History Improvement Program. The funding will go towards improving the accuracy, utility, and interstate accessibility of criminal history and related records. The funding will also provide support for national record systems and its use for name and fingerprint-based criminal history background checks. Congressman Steve Scalise has dropped out of the race to become Speaker, in a sign that divisions are intensifying among House Republicans. The House has been without a leader for more than a week after Kevin McCarthy was ousted by hardliners. Natalie Brand has the newest developments.
I'm withdrawing my name as a candidate for the Speaker designee.
Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise making that decision Thursday night after a day of closed-door meetings with his colleagues.
Our conference still has to come together and is not there. There are still some people that have their own agendas, and I was very clear, we have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what this country needs.
On Wednesday, Scalise narrowly defeated Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan during a secret ballot vote among House Republicans to select a speaker. But 24 hours later, it was clear divisions remained, with Scalise still short of the votes needed to get elected on the House floor.
He worked today, felt as though he wasn't going to be able to get there. He's going to still be our majority leader. I've been in that exact same position that he was back in 2015.
It's unclear what happens next, and for now, business in the U.S. House remains on hold. Foreign Affairs Committee Chair Michael McCall calls the GOP infighting a dangerous game.
Our adversaries are watching us, and Israel is watching. They need our help.
This House of Representatives needs a speaker, and we need to open up the House again.
Majority Leader Scalise, the number 2 Republican, says he's going to push to make that happen as quickly as possible. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The vacant House Speaker spot is in the way of lawmakers reaching agreement to fund the government or face the threat of a federal shutdown in about a month. A little later, Mack County takes on the Carl Junction Bulldogs on the softball diamond. John Dales has the game details just after the break.
And we're tracking some thunderstorms developing on radar. I'll let you know what that means for the forecast as well as the weekend when we come back.
Today and be a permanent part of the foundation at Vida Nova Village, Joplin.
Well, it was another warm, windy day across the 4 states with temperatures in the upper 70s for most folks, and now we're starting to see some showers and thunderstorms developing. First, let's take a look out at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort and inside or just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Things are looking pretty calm right now, but over the next few hours, that's going to be changing. Temperatures right now are still very pleasant, generally in the mid to upper 60s. Pittsburgh was 67, 68 in Fort Scott. Pick out your hometown. And we're a little bit cooler over in Cassville, where they're currently sitting at 59 degrees. Radar showing some thunderstorms developing north central Oklahoma now in eastern Kay County and western Osage County. Those will be developing and continuing to grow in size and moving up towards the north and east. So as we go through the overnight hours, don't be surprised to hear a rumble or two of thunder. The best thing about this system is no severe weather is really expected. There is a marginal risk, but most of the severe weather is way up to the north and will stay there. So tonight, even though we will have a marginal risk of some hail, some winds, and some heavy rain, the tornado risk is very, very low, and that would be from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. with the predominant threat being hail and high winds, and most of the hail would probably be around pea size. And as we take a look at the precipitation chances, they're going to dramatically increase over the next few hours, but then slowly decrease through the morning, and then by evening, it will be all out of here. Rainfall amounts are not expected to be all that intense, generally around 1/2 to maybe 3/4 of an inch in some heavier storms. And most areas are going to be in between storms, so it's just going to be here and there. A few lucky folks will get some decent rainfall. So the forecast for tonight at midnight, scattered storms developing and moving across our western counties. Then as we go into the 3 o'clock hour, the scattered showers and storms should be in the metro area with south winds continuing with temperatures in the 60s. Then as we go in towards 6 a.m., here comes the front starting to knock on the door of our western counties with scattered showers around. And then by 9 a.m., the front should be slicing through the metro area with scattered showers and storms starting to push off towards the east. And then by lunchtime, the sun will start to break out with temperatures in the low to mid 60s, especially out towards the west. Then at 3 o'clock, mostly fair skies across the area, brisk westerly to northwesterly winds, bringing in some cooler air. And then by 6 p.m., temperatures in the 50s up to the north and west, lower 60s down to the south. Then as we go into Saturday, I know a lot of folks were looking forward to the eclipse, and myself included, but unfortunately it looks like we're going to be socked in with clouds with some scattered showers up to the north. Best chance to see the eclipse at noon on Saturday will be down in north central and northeastern Oklahoma. The 7-day forecast looks like this: much cooler as we head towards the weekend with highs only in the 50s. And then we start a slow warming trend as we head towards the middle part of next week with another round of showers possible on Thursday and temperatures in the 60s and then lows in the 40s. So definitely below normal for this coming week, which, you know, I think we deserve it after the summer that we've had. And we just don't need any freezing temperatures, and it doesn't look like we're going to see anything like that for a while.
So what is normal for this time of year?
Generally low 70s for highs and 50s for lows. So with highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s, we're going to be below normal. But not too bad.
We don't really know what the meaning of normal is around here. This is the 4 states.
That is so
it's either
true.
hot or it's cold.
That's true. Yeah, it's one or the other. Feast or famine.
Well, I'd rather have this.
Me too.
All right, thanks, Sam. Well, students at a Carthage Elementary had a party today. Fairview Elementary hosted a Fusion Fiesta as part of its Title I Family Involvement Night. Students were able to hang out with friends and break open some piñatas to get some tasty treats.
Yeah, so Carthage has a really diverse population, and we have a lot of students who are Hispanic and come from Spanish-speaking families, and they come from lots of different areas in Central America, but we really want to lean into that and celebrate that, which is why we're doing something so fun and big for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Kindergartners and first graders were grouped up for the first part of the event, then it was the second and third grade students' chance. Still ahead, highlights from a back-and-forth playoff game between McDonald County and Carl Junction softball. And third-ranked Pitt State football gears up for its matchup with Missouri Southern. John Dales has those stories and much more up next.
Birthday, but we're gifting you huge savings. Help us ever at Roper Honda.
It's an exciting morning at Neodesha High School. A standout athlete signs his national letter of intent to play collegiate golf at the D1 level. Kyle Eggers, a rising senior, headed to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln this morning, surrounded by his family and friends, along with his coaches on FaceTime, says it's been a long journey getting to this moment.
I started competitive golf when I was 8 years old. My grandpa taught me to play golf at the age of 2, and then I was just playing out there for fun until age 8, and then played competition all until now, and I'm still playing competition golf. And then September of my junior year, so last year, I got a contact from Nebraska UNL PGA Management, and they asked me if I would be interested in their program, and they gave me all these amazing opportunities to come out there and check it out. And as soon as I got there, I was a done deal.
Pitt State football holds the number 3 rank in the country, is more than halfway towards another undefeated regular season. But on Saturday, the Gorillas play Missouri Southern in what's known as the Miners Bowl, and they're ready for a big challenge from Missouri Southern.
They're a very balanced offense. They run the ball well, they throw the ball well. They got a new quarterback. He's really good. Their O-line's really big and physical. So there's a lot of challenges. I would say this is probably the most balanced team we've played, running and passing the ball. They're right down the middle, 50-50. So it's going to be a good challenge, but we're up for it.
Yeah, I think we'll have a good following over there. I would expect a good following from our crowd, being as close as we are in proximity. So I would think that we would, and we have a good football team. They have a good team. There's going to be good players on both sides, and certainly I would think that the local fans would be interested in that.
Gorillas have won 8 in a row against the Lions going back to 2014. Kickoff in Joplin on Saturdays at 2 o'clock. We've got complete post-game coverage here on KOAM along with in-game updates. You can find those on my Facebook page. That's John Dale's KOAM Sports. District playoffs are here for Missouri High School softball. Win or go home this afternoon as McDonald County and Carl Junction play in a quarterfinal for the right to face Nevada on Saturday. Carl Junction taking on McDonald County, first meeting of the year between these two. Mustangs start out hot. First inning, Natalie Gilming bounces one up the middle into center. It's a 2 RBI single, and she's going to move ahead to second on the throw home. Part of a 4-run inning, 4-1 McDonald County early. Bottom 2, more Mustang offense. Kirsten Hopkins steps up, hits it the other way for a homer. McDonald County leads 6-1 after just 2 innings. Bulldogs won't go away though. Georgia Arnold up with 2 runners on, top 3, goes off the wall. Long single makes it 6-2. Next at bat for Carl Junction. Maddie Olds at the plate, hammers this one to center field, way out of here. CJ scores 2 in the 4th, makes it 6-4. Part of a big comeback in a back and forth game. Carl Junction goes on to win a crazy one, 19-15 final score. Now over to Class 5, District 7, Neosho taking on Lee Summit in quarterfinal. We start this one out in the bottom of the 2nd. Autumn Kinnard at the plate. Grounds this one over to short, but this throw gets away at first base. Then the throw short gets away. 1 run scores first, and now, after the second bad throw, Kinnard runs all around the bases as a Little League inside the park home run. 2-0 Neosho. We go ahead, top of the fourth, 3-zip Neosho at this point. Lee Summit trying to get back into it. This will help. Ryan Arnold into right field. Ball gets by the outfielders. That's a 3 RBI triple. Ties the game at 3 apiece. We go to the bottom of the fourth, same score. Carly Kinnard at the plate this time for the tie game and gets all of that pitch to left field and gone. No doubter home run, 3-run shot. Neosho leads 6-3. Wildcats go on to win. They advance to the next round. They beat Lee's Summit 6-3. Now over in the NFL, Chiefs at home tonight against the Broncos. They win 19-8. KC's been in control throughout, start to finish. Travis Kelce over 100 yards receiving. Pat Mahomes 200 passing yards. Chiefs defense holds Russell Wilson to under 100 passing yards. It's the 16th win in a row for the Chiefs over the Broncos.
But the question that I'm asking, of course, was a certain someone in attendance, because it's not a weekend game this time around.
Yeah. I actually don't have the answer to that on whether or not Taylor Swift was there, but that seems like it is following all the Chiefs games this year.
Sorry, I had to ask.
Fair question.
Congrats to the softball girls, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun time of year for them, too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Indigo Sky Casino invites you to participate in our $50,000 game.
Cantrell, a 4th state hero.
The 17th annual New York Comic-Con masked up today, and around 200,000 people are expected to attend. Many call it the biggest pop culture fan event in the U.S. That's clear as crowds headed into the Javits Center this afternoon dressed in costumes. Many are excited about what the weekend will bring, and the event ends on Sunday. Always a lot of fun.
Yep, we have some fun on the radar. We have some thunderstorms developing out towards our west near Sedan and Chautauqua County. And then we're going to be looking at cooler weather for the weekend with highs only in the 50s and lows in the 40s, even some 30s on Monday and Tuesday morning.
All right, final sports note.
Yeah, big day of high school football tomorrow night. Our game of the week is Frontenac, who just destroyed Baxter Springs in our game of the week last week. This week, though, they're at home against Parsons. Should be a really good one.
That'll be fun. All right, thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night and an even better Friday.
KOAM News is sponsored by Aaron Sachs & Associates, proud partner.